There's still time to make scary good Halloween content this year, and just because it's spooky season doesn't mean you have to be afraid of video. Now, over the last 2 weeks, I've broken down spooky video content, and today I'm breaking down a commercial that we made for one of our favorite small businesses to inspire you to create your own spooky videos for your business this month. Okay, first, let's look at lighting. Now, this one is a bit tough because we were filming out in the woods, so we kept it pretty lean. If the moon is out, that can be a big help, but if it's not and it's really dark, you can bring a little light with you. Now, I use this little pop light. It's the F7. It's from Aperture, and it's great because you can change the intensity of it, and you can also change the color temperature as well. Now, if you don't want to invest in a light like this, then you can also get some battery work lights from a hardware store that can also get the job done in a pinch. Now, I also took advantage of the headlamp and used it to help light the scene as well, and also the character. Okay, next, let's talk about camera movement. Now, I decided to shoot this one on a monopod to add to the suspense and make the audience feel like they were actually in the forest with the character. Now, I didn't want to do handheld because I wanted it to feel a little bit more in control, and I wanted to do longer shots, especially of the products. If I went with locked off shots, it wouldn't feel as suspenseful or spooky. So to get the best of both worlds, I actually went with a monopod. That way I could have the camera's weight supported and giving more fluid shots while still allowing for some of that handheld movement. Alright, next, let's look at practical effects. Now, I really wanted to add to the spooky factor, so what's spookier than fog? Now, I used a can of fog since I didn't want to have to worry about finding power for a fog machine, and it made the scene really foggy, which, you know, fog equals spooky. So with can fog, it's really easy. You just spray it where you want it, and you give it a second or two to let it breathe and settle, and then you're good to go. And you just reapply as needed. Alright, lastly, let's look at sound effects. Now, the sound effects on this one were pretty simple. I just wanted to amplify the sound of the woods because sounds in the woods at night are spooky to begin with. So I added some branches snapping off in the distance, animals making noise, and of course I added a howl for good measure. Now, I probably could have added more, but I think it was just enough to make it feel natural, but just a little spookier. But you check it out and tell me.
No matter what time of day or night nature calls, going to the bathroom doesn't have to be scary with Pact.
When you're creating spooky content, whether it's this year or next year, just remember, you can lean into the spooky factor when you're planning your lighting, you're planning your camera movement, you're planning your practical effects, and you're planning your sound effects. It's easier than you might think to create a scary good video for your business. Also, let me know in the comments below if you want help planning or creating your holiday video content this year. Whether you need ideas or help with the execution, we've got you covered.